Hello, this short video will explain the new bill payment services for students. The video is presented to you by ETS at Foothill De Anza Community College District. This service is available 24/7 and allows students and their families to make payments and manage their student account. Student and staff may log in using their college ID and password. Parents, guardians, or employers wishing to access the system require student permission via the student's authorized user process. The Student Account Center allows you to check your balance, make a payment towards your balance, view your payment history, store your payment methods for quick and easy payment, and as a student, provide permission to others such as parents, employers, etc. to make payments. The payment plan management aspect of the system allows a student to enroll in a payment plan so you can pay your balance in installments. You can also view your current payment plan status, make a payment towards one of your installments, and schedule future installment payments. You will be able to access the student bill payment service by logging into My Portal and selecting the Registration tab. On the lower left of the page, you will find the My Account channel that displays the balance owed to Foothill and/or De Anza colleges, and the bill payment channel. Clicking on the Pay Now button here or after you register for a class will take you to the bill payment service. Note, this is where you also will find a link to this video, written documentation, and a frequent asked questions. Note, the Student Bill Payment Service opens in a new tab or browser window when you click the Pay Now button. The first screen display consists of three primary tabs: My Account, Payments, and Payment Plans. The My Account homepage consists of alerts and announcements on the left, and then a summary of your account, what the balance is, how much is in a payment plan, and how much is not covered by a plan. To make a payment, you can either click on the Payments tab or the Make a Payment button. In both cases, they will go to the same screen. Let's start by taking a look at Account Activity, which is under the My Account tab. You can select transactions from various terms. We've got Fall selected right now, and then Account Activity. So it's showing installment plan fee, payments, enrollment fees, all the various fees, and coming up with the balance. And again, there's a Make Payment button here. If you look at your profile, it's going to show you your college ID and the email address that the system will communicate with you. If you want to put in an alternate email address, you can. The email address that's used is the one that you have selected as your preferred personal email address. If you need to change that, you can always go into My Portal, and on the Students tab, you can update your personal information, including your email. The final area we're going to take a look at under My Account is the Authorized Users tab. Here you're able to give access to, for example, a parent to have access to your account so that they can make payments against your account. And it's very simple. You give the email address of the user that should be able to get in to look at your account, and you're able to select whether or not they're going to be able to see your payment history. You can say yes or no, and then just continue. The system will now display an agreement to add an authorized user. You need to check the box I agree. You can print it, or you can just click on continue and you'll go to the next screen. Now you'll see your authorized user listed, and you'll be able to edit or delete them in the future. What will happen is the authorized user will receive an email at the address listed that gives them a login page and a password so that they can log into the system and make payments against your account. We're now on the payment screen, and it's the first screen of 4. As you can see, we have the ability to select what we're going to pay for and also the date. And in this case, we've selected August 14th. The next tab allows you to select the payment method. On the drop-down menu, you will see you have two options, a credit card or an electronic check. The electronic check can be either a savings or checking account, but it must be a personal account, not a business or line of credit. When you select a payment method, you also have an option to save the method and use it for future payments without having to re-enter all the account or credit card information. So here I've selected a new credit card. I'll click the select button to tell that I've made up my mind, and you'll see the entry for all of the credit card information just like you do now. If you select a checking or a savings account, it'll go through again the information that's required in order to process that. Under the routing number, there's a link that will take you to a sample check so you can figure out what all the different numbers are that they require on the form. Once everything's been selected, you'll go to the confirmation phase and you'll end up with a receipt once it's paid. Also, under the Payments tab, there's a Payment History option which allows you to go in and view your payments based on a combination of selections. You can show payments that were made outside the system, ones that were made in the system. You can specify a specific date period. You can specify who the payer is, if it's only payments that you made or authorized users made. And then finally, if it's a specific type of payment, such as a check or a credit card. The final thing that we're going to take a look at is the payment plans. And so if we click on the Payment Plans tab, you'll see that the student has an option to enroll now. And when they click that, the first thing they'll need to do is select the quarter for which they want to enroll. Clicking the select button will then display the terms of the installment plan. So in this case, it's the enrollment deadline, scheduled payments, what the setup fee is, and what the minimum down payment is. Clicking Continue will take you to the scheduled payment plan, and here if you display the payment schedule, you'll see the detail of when the installments are due, what the down payment is going to be, and how much each of the installments are. Clicking Continue will take you to the down payment screen where you can select a previously stored payment method or add a new one. Once the down payment is made, you will be asked to sign the agreement. After you've signed up for a payment plan, you can view all the details simply by clicking on the Payment Plans tab. In this case, we have a student who has two payment plans. You can see what the enrollment fee was, what the down payment was, the two installments, when they're due, and how much they're for. You can click on Change to change the payment method, and you can click on View Agreement to take a look at the actual agreement. Here's a view of the actual agreement that the student has signed, and as you can see, it spells out how much is going to get paid on each of the payment dates as scheduled. Remember, payment plans are only for the current quarter, not for any balances from prior quarters, and will be paid off by the end of the quarter. One thing you should be aware of with payment plans is the balance of the plan will automatically be adjusted up if you add classes, and it'll be adjusted down if you drop classes. So it's going to stay in sync with what your balance is for the quarter that you have put under the payment plan. And to be eligible for a payment plan, you must have a balance of $50 or more. That pretty much covers everything regarding the bill payment services for Foothill De Anza Community College students. At this point, your job is to get all A's and have a great quarter.